Dear Prime Creator, I had a prayer that was written but not spoken. Did you get it? It came from the heart, then was interrupted. Did you get it? The importance of attracting positive forces that support us was and is the prayer. It is likening our vibratory energies to that of a magnet's push or pull, positive or negative. Help us, please, to maintain the frequencies of love and openness in every moment, so we attract what we need and can plot our course the very best way. Please, that you permeate our consciousness with the ever present love light, so there is never doubt of who we are and what we are here to do. Always in your grace, and so it is.
Yeah.
Hello, my name's Ron Vroman. I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. Richard and William are again with me, and we're going to be discussing the Real ID Act, citizens and nationals, and what those words mean, and how that all fits together. And say hello, you guys.
Hi, this is Richard.
This is William Appel again.
So, Richard, tell us about the Real ID Act, and let's get into that. I think it's terrible.
Well, I can't really make anything out of it. I don't know who it if you don't know who it applies to, then how do you know anything about it? And so I've been looking, is it one of the people? Does a real ID go to one of the people? Does it go to the general public? Does it go to a human being? Does it go to who does it go to? A citizen, a capital C citizen, a lowercase c citizen? And what's and the other thing that I see a lot of is residents. Uh, so is that a good place to start? It's
Yeah,
just confusing to me. I don't know. I have no idea yet about the Real ID Act. I see that they want to control the airports, and I don't care about that. I'm not going to go back to a major airport. I'm going to fly out of little airports with my friends who, and I have one friend that he rejected his pilot's license. He said, I'm not going to be transporting persons or property for compensation, so I don't need this. Fuck you guys. And he let
exactly.
me fly his plane. I can. It's fun. It's fun. And
Yep.
he showed me, see that thing up there. Look here on the screen, and you'll see this. You'll see a shape. So you can't keep on going toward that shape. You have to go around it. Oh, really? So I'm learning. I'm learning to fly.
Three dimension.
So
Good.
those are the only kind of people that I'm going to fly with. The ones that don't have licenses.
Yeah, well, you're going to have, if they have their way, and you see it every day, and I think just like I wrote in that paper, it's a nullity. Just like Jefferson said, it's a nullity. We don't need your license, not going to use your license. Am I free to go? Am I under arrest? That's where it is right now, every day. And what is it? 93% of the people will say yes, sir, and do as they're told and not cause any trouble and hope everything's just fine and watch Monday Night Football.
Yeah, well, they want to go on their vacation to Hawaii or something, and they probably can't find a private plane to go. So, they either bend over for that, corporate rule basically that's going on, and get their real ID, and then head on over there, or I guess stay at home and hope that they don't make the rules that you have to do that on the road or on the rail, right?
Yeah, they want to do it on both. They want to do well. Operation Paperclip, and everybody should know about that one. And we're now in the third generation, the children of the children that were brought over here uh, with their parents who were Nazi engineers and scientists. Now we've got,
1948.
yes, I think 47, 46. Right in there though. I don't remember
Yeah,
the
yeah, exactly. I think it
uh,
kind of staggered out a little bit.
well, yeah, they write the paper and then they spend the next 5 years. Well, the space race was the Russian scientists, no, the German scientists working for the Russians were better at the beginning. And then the German scientists working for the Americans were better towards the end. If we ever did get to the moon, but we sure as hell fired a lot of rockets up there, and there are sure a lot of satellites up there.
I don't think they had a real ID though.
Yeah. So anyhow,
Okay.
who has a real ID? Everybody that has a driver's license that was issued by Oregon after a certain date has a little emblem or symbol on their driver's license that says this is a real ID, and they got it automatic.
I think the passports do too.
Yeah, probably. Passport cards?
Yeah, I think so.
And so what do real people, actual people, do when they, let's say they need to go, what, uh one one gal I was talking to recently, she said I had to go. Oh yeah, this was the trial court administrator. The trial court administrator. No, it was the presiding court judge's secretary. She said I had to go to my father's funeral in another state, and so I've been gone for a couple weeks. But what do? But she's not a people. She was the trial court staff for the presiding court judge. But what do
She's a
people
person.
that actually have? Yeah, she's a person. So what do actual people have to do if they need to go someplace too far to walk, maybe too far to drive? What do they do?
They nullify the
What can
law.
Okay.
I know it
And will that
sounds
take
sounds weak, but that's it. They'll nullify the law. They may not get to fly. I'm not saying that they're going to be able to fly, but they nullify the law. You can't let that stuff stand. You have to take it down.
well, I haven't flown uh, I haven't used a licensed carrier for almost 30 years now,
That's a
somewhere around
really
30
long
years.
time.
Yeah, yeah. I was working in Seattle, and I was frequently flying up there and flying back, and and I did that twice a month. And they they took a knife that an old lady gave me, and I go, what? You're taking my knife? You better be here when I get back the next time. And when I came back the next time to get it, it wasn't there. And and that pissed me off. And I said, I'm never gonna do this again. You guys are fuckers. And that was it. It was a long time before the licensing or real ID or COVID or anything.
Yep.
Well, I just looked at my passport card, and on the back of it says that it can't be used for international air travel. So that means that I can't use this card as a real ID for there. right?
But
So I
you
have to
can
use my
for
passport.
domestic.
What'd you say?
Say it again.
For domestic, that your card is only for domestic. Yeah.
I can use it for says valid for domestic air travel, international land and sea travel between the US, Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean and Bermuda.
Yep.
Not valid for international travel. So I would have to pull out my passport book to use it for that. So I don't know. Is it still considered a real ID if I can't internationally travel with it?
It's not considered. No, it's not.
Yeah, so that means that it's not not
No, no,
not
no.
a real ID.
Drivers
So I
in
have to,
Oregon, an Oregon driver's license doesn't get you international travel, but it'll get you a real ID card.
okay, so the real ID must be just the United States then, right?
Looks like it.
Interesting.
I wonder if it's the ticket agent that makes that decision. That they look, this flight goes international. I got to see a passport. This flight doesn't go international, just domestic and Caribbean. I just need real ID.
Yeah,
Ticket,
huh?
ticket agent probably makes that decision.
Could be, but what if you're buying your ticket online? You never touch them, right? 'Cause you
Yeah,
can print
well,
ticket from home, right?
you wind up someplace where the ticket agent is there, and the ticket agent has that authority, assumed authority.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get on the plane unless that agent says, "Yeah, you get on."
Yeah. Do you think they'll start doing that for going through TSA too?
Well, probably not. You can go through TSA if you want to go all the way to the gate with your people that are departing.
I haven't seen that. They confirm that you have a ticket in hand before you can go through there.
Then they've changed it since the last time I was there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long ago that was, but a lot of stuff changed. I remember the days when you didn't have any damn security really at all back in the 70s.
Yeah,
You could also
exactly.
smoke on the airplane, right?
Yeah, we smoked and drank on the airplanes.
You can still drink. They're not going to cut that out.
So anyhow, back to identification. Identification is not necessary.
Yeah, what if we went into an airport in a the
You
G
sound like
string?
you sound like you're in a barrel.
Yeah, I am now.
Okay.
um, what if we went in with nothing more than a G string? You think we could get through? Would they care?
Without being scanned?
Yeah.
Lawfully,
Well, no, I wouldn't mind being scanned if there was nothing for them to see.
I think they would still run you through the ringer. Of course, nothing through the machine that scans your equipment or whatever, right? But you're still going to have to step through that radar or that little detector thing, right?
yeah, that's a
And,
body scan.
and maybe be scanned with the hand scanner thing, right? They're still going to
Yep.
want to know it's got something inside your body or something. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not unwilling. I mean, if they want to look at me through a scanner, they can do that.
Boy, I don't
But
want any
um,
part of anybody irradiating me with some kind of ray to determine whether or not I have a metal hip or whatever. No,
Yeah,
I
none
don't.
of that's concerned.
I don't want any X-rays. No, that's against the Fourth Amendment. Leave me alone.
Yeah, and X-rays would be
Yeah, I
horrible
guess
too.
that's
I'm
it.
hoping they're not using X-ray, right?
They could be.
Because I mean, you go to the dentist, and the dentist puts, he hides behind a lead wall, and then you put on a lead vest, right, to get your tooth X-rayed, right? So it's dangerous. Otherwise, they
Yes,
wouldn't go through all that crap,
you got that absolutely right.
right?
But they
So,
don't care. They don't care.
yep,
I don't think they do. I think that we Richard and I had this conversation on public servant, and I'm of the opinion that they are not public servants unless they are at the level of uh, election. If
yeah,
they
elected
stand
official.
if they stand for election, then they have agreed to be a public servant. But if you've just been hired to be a deputy sheriff, you didn't hire on to be anybody's servant. You hired on to serve the general public in the manner that the sheriff deems you should. He
Yeah,
sets
so
the
But the
tone
sheriff
and
was
they do it.
elected. The sheriff was elected. The sheriff was
Yes,
elected, and those
yes.
that are in, rank underneath him, uh, wouldn't they be servants as well?
No,
I mean, if the top guy's a servant,
no,
aren't all those below him servants?
no. They provide a service. They are not servants. I'm
Okay.
thoroughly convinced on that. That's like the guy that works at the planning and permitting department in downtown Beaverton. He's not your servant. He provides a public service. Yep,
it's basically a corporate act.
Well, I
yep.
don't we need to understand that servant and service have some kind of contact. I mean, they originate from the same word. They have common etiology.
Oh yeah.
But the
Okay.
problem with these words is that they've been altered over time. You could take, an old book like the King James Version that was put out in 1612 or 11 or whatever it was, and look at that English language compared to today. Or we could even look back, 40 years at a few words. I won't say them right here on the air, but they mean something completely damn different, you know? So we have to look at when the law was written and what that word meant then. And when we talk to these people, we need to inform them of the language we're using and what era. Otherwise, we can't really communicate anymore.
I agree to that.
Well, that's pretty common understanding. That's the way it is in any court case. If you're
Yeah.
going to cite the law, you have to use the date that that the law was created.
Yep.
So, so you can go back and look at the words. Yeah.
Yeah, we understand it. Me, you, and Ron understand it, and a minority of other people. But the majority of the people that go into these courtrooms don't have a clue what's going on in there, and they think they can talk regular language in there, and it becomes uh, I don't know, Babylonian or something, or Greek or something. In reality,
Yep.
some other language. They're even I've seen the the judge, the attorneys using Latin in there. We don't understand Latin.
Well, I want to let you know this. Latin is the only language that I never had to translate in my head into English.
in order to get, I mean, I could read it
Uh-huh.
without changing the words in my head. I could understand it. That's the only language that I ever could just read.
Wow.
But I haven't read it for a long time now, and it's kind of escaped me. But I think I could go back to it.
Well, I think
And I have had. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well,
Okay.
I
Well, I
think
have
that
had.
mainly the people. Sorry, mainly the people. The lower class of the people, probably in most countries, don't know Latin. The upper tier send their kids to schools where they're taught Latin. Right? That's what
Yep,
I'm seeing.
you're
I
right
never came
there.
across Latin in any of the schools that I was in.
I got a point to make here. They taught Latin when I was in high school. I took it. I took first year Latin in high school,
What year, please?
1952.
Wow. Yeah, it was
And
gone by
I
the
took
70s and
I
80s.
took the second year. I took the second year of Latin in high school. And I
When
started high school in 61, I think.
when the guys were writing up the founding documents, almost all of them could read and write Latin and Greek.
I could definitely understand the Greek part, being said most of them worship the Greek god, as depicted in most of the statues, paintings, um, symbols in the 10 square mile Washington, D.C.
There's a lot of that there. That's for damn
Yeah,
sure.
huge. When they said "In God We Trust," I don't believe they meant the God of the Bible, meaning the Most High. Very questionable at this moment.
Do you have a better
Yeah,
idea of who that god was?
well, I want to make a point here. There was
Okay.
13 colonies, and each one of them had a separate and distinct take on what God was.
There you go.
They had a hard time getting that one across. And when they wrote the documents talking about the creator and all of those things, they did, I think, a really good job of skirting that issue so that the Protestants and the Baptists and the Catholics and everybody else that was there could join the document without it being so onerous. Even the Quakers could do it.
And what was the source of your information on that? That all 13 had different ideas about God.
Well, you read the, I haven't read all 13's founding documents, but the pilgrims were not looking at things the same way that the people from Pennsylvania, William Penn, looked at things, and we're not looking at things the same way as uh, Delaware and Rhode Island. They each had a different way of looking at it, and almost all the Dutch went to New York. The Dutch didn't go down to Jersey and South Carolina. So there was something going on that was differentiating and discriminating, and it was a long religion. And that was from 1600, whenever it started on, and it was uh, still going today.
Different ideas about God.
Yeah,
Well, they really got really open about it in 1865 when Abraham Lincoln died. they started putting up a whole bunch of statues and stuff in D.C. From what I recall, that monument for Abraham Lincoln, right above it, right above his statue, actually said, right above his statue, it actually said that this was a temple, that where his statue was. You know, so that's just one piece of this puzzle in Washington D.C. You take a sky view of Washington D.C., you can see the upside down star pentagram thing.
Yep.
Several pieces to that where they started to be open about their other gods that they worship. I can't remember all the gods, but you know, if you go there, you can see all of them.
You
Maybe I'll
mean
try
like
to put them on the
Colombia?
yeah. Yep. Many different gods they worship, but they were mainly Greek gods. You
A
know,
lot of them.
yeah. Here in the
Yep.
United States, we were taught that that was Greek mythology, you know, a myth. But I understand that the people that went to school in Greece, they were actually taught that that was their history.
Yes, that's the truth.
You know,
The Greeks gave it all over for the Greek Orthodox Church, which is a form of Catholicism,
yep.
just like the Russian Orthodox.
Yeah, so they're not to be
Okay, well,
trusted.
I think we did a good job on the real ID.
I think so.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. And then he jumps out of the car. And he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, just shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.